Hey y'all, I'm the Eclectic Blurred and welcome to another Eclectic review. Today we're going to be reviewing Stranger Things Season 1 Episode 7 entitled The Bathtub. But before we get into a review, don't forget we're on the path to 100, so go ahead and give this channel a subscribe, get this video a like, comment on what we're talking about. Let's become one of my eclectics as we on the path to 100, baby. And so now let's go ahead and get into it. Y'all ready? I'm ready. So, like always, there are always three groups, right? We have the adults, we have the teenagers, and we have the Goonies. So this episode, I kind of thought it was going this direction, but they put it together in this episode. So after all those episodes of everybody inching closer and closer together because they're all kind of looking at the same type of thing, they all came together. But before they did, they were in groups. So remember in the first episode, not first, in the last episode, that Hopper and Joyce got called that Jonathan got in trouble for fighting and hit a cop or whatever. So they get there and she's like, I need you to take them handcuffs off my son. And they're like, nah, bro, you hit a cop. And Hopper's like, look, take the handcuffs off. And then they go in the car and see all the Monster Hunter stuff they bought. And at that point, the sheriff's like, what y'all finna do with that stuff? Come to my office now, like, not gonna believe me. They go in the office, they show them a picture of the Demogorgon that they took. And at that point, George go out and like, why didn't you tell me? Why you put yourself? I'm here, we're a family, I'm here for you. And he's like, no, I thought I could find Will, I just wanted to find Will. And you like put yourself in danger, you put Nancy in danger. And he was like, I'm sorry, Mom. And so, of course, they all believe in each other right now because of their experiences. So now the little boy, the bully, come in with the mother, acting a nut like, we didn't want to file charges against somebody. And they're like, what, a little girl? And so, of course, the other officers are oblivious to what's going on. The sheriff come out like, take the thing outside. Then like, but the bald head, she was a bald head. And he was like, what? What did she look like? So the sheriff turns around. What she look like? She bald head. She didn't even look like a girl. And like, what about her? What was different? Man, she make people fly, make you pee your pants with her mind. And he was like, really? Who she's with? All those losers. What losers? And of course, that dude, apparently, he's talking about the Goonies. So let's go to show you what the Goonies going through, why all this is going on as well. So at this point, the Goonies are, I say, three of them, right? You remember the last thing, Elle closed the door, and of course, the lab coming to get them. The government coming to get them, right? So next thing you know, they're downstairs and they hear Lucas through the CB, and they're just like, man, through the walkie. And he was broken up. They're like, is he too far away? We can't understand him. And then they kind of understood bad man. And they're like, oh my. So they ran upstairs and they saw the electric guy sitting outside. So Mike goes, asks his mom, hey, are we getting anything fixed? She was like, no. And then Dustin sees more of the same truck showing up. And he runs down to Mike, said, we have to go right now. And Mike runs and tells mom, if somebody look for me, I'll go and left the country. And they run outside with their bikes. They go on the bikes. And of course, the man running the thing that created it all with Elle was looking at them. And so they go get on the bikes and take off. Now they're talking to Lucas. And it's like, meet us on this street. And so they're cutting through stuff, doing stuff while they're getting chased by the government, which they're calling the bad man or whatever, right? So they're getting chased. They meet up with Lucas. They're like, did we lose him? They're all out of breath because they're on those little bikes trying to run. And they're like, no. And they come around, and so they're going and going and going and going. And then another truck is coming at them. They're like, oh no. And then L pops the truck and makes it flip over them and block the other trucks. That was so sweet. That was wild. It was something else. I liked it. So they get to where they're going, to the place where they had their initial big fight at. I think that's where they have their little meetings and forts or whatever. And so they get there, and they're like, she flipped the truck. Dustin was like, she flipped the truck. You're like, Mike, like, we saw it, we were there. And Lucas said it was awesome. And he went over to L and like, I'm sorry for calling you a traitor and all that other stuff. I apologize. And then L was like, you're a friend, and if we're friends, we're not supposed to lie, and I apologize. And then Mike apologized and extended his hand out to Lucas. They shook hands, so now the Goonies are whole again. Woohoo, we whole again. Of course they had to be whole again. It's getting close to the end of the season, but all these lines are starting to connect, so they had to get whole again. But all this going on, they're all sitting there here, a helicopter. And the reason they hit a helicopter is because all those people went into Mike's house and talking to the parents and just taking everything out the house that belonged to Mike. Everything. And so they're looking for them, and nobody really know where they be going. And so they hit a helicopter, so they take the bikes and throw it under this abandoned bus and get on the bus and hide. And this is where we're starting to converge storylines, right? So now we know that the government at Mike's house with his parents taking all the stuff out. We know that Nancy and Jonathan and Hopper and Joyce are all together. So now they go to look at the house and see that all the government are there. And Nancy's like, my family's there. And Hopper like, look, I understand that, but you can't go there. They're gonna think you're involved. And he's like, can't find them because look, there's a helicopter looking for them. They don't know where they're at either. We just gotta find them. So they get in the car and ask Nancy, you know where he was hiding? They're like, no, I don't know. And then John's like, I might have a clue. And they go find Will's walking. So they get to walking, and Nancy's like, hey, Mike, this is Nancy. Answer, it's an emergency, answer. Then Hopper like, hey, we know you got the girl. Answer, we know you're there. And they put it down like, y'all got anything else we can do? And then Mike finally, they're on the bus. The Goonies are like, should we answer, should we not answer? Do they have her? Are they there? So they were nervous, but then Mike decides to answer like, it's Mike and we're all here. And they're like, oh, where are you? We're coming. And so then they put it down and they're waiting. At that point, the government show up to the area and they're looking around. And then they see the bikes on there and they go to open the thing, and then you hear a scuffle outside, and there's Hopper and tell them, come on, let's go. So they go, and so they all go to Will's house, Joyce's house. And up in there, at that point, the Goonies are explaining everything that they know, right? They're explaining how the upside down work and explain how Elle's powers and the things that she does, and how they know Will's still alive in the upside down, and all of that good stuff. So they explain all of that stuff. And how the door was open, and then they realize, then Hopper starts saying, is it the water tank? Is it underground? And it was like, yes. And they're like, you've been there. And so they're like, okay, can you still talk to Will? She's like, I should be able to. So she goes to try to talk to Will and Barb. You know, I know Barb didn't make it, but they haven't showed it in the show yet, but there's no way she made it. But anyway, because of that blood thing, right? And so She couldn't bring him through the walking, neither one of them. So Elle goes to the bathroom and starts to cry because she knows she didn't do it. And so they start asking more questions about Elle. She's like, look, whenever she uses her power, she gets nosebleed, she gets tired, she gets weak. We just gotta let her relax and get better. There's no time period to how long it takes. And then she comes out and says the bath. And so now Dustin calls Mr. Clark. Oh, my favorite. Now, I feel a little bad because you call Mr. Clark on a date, man. He on a date. So they watching a little scary movie and explaining how the stuff is just plastic and bubble gum and all this other nonsense. Phone rings. He gets up and like, okay, Dustin, we can talk about this on Monday. And then Dustin's like, you said if you want to learn, that you're going to stop us from learning. How can you recreate a deprivation in the tub? And you're like, okay. And so basically, Mr. Clark explained to them how to make the bath, the salt bath, for her to be able to connect and find them using her powers, I guess, right? And so he tells them, Dustin writes it down. They're like, okay, we're gonna be able to do this. Do you still have the thing the the toy tub swimming pool? Then they're like, we're gonna need a lot of salt, 1,500 pounds. So in order to do that, they go to the middle school, which is where all the salt is that they salt the roads with, right? So they get there, they're breaking into places to get the hoses. A funny scene is Dustin Lucas trying to open up the swimming pool, the small pool. I felt that pain because I understood that 1,000%. Those things are hard to open. So they're doing that. Then they end up putting water in and they're keeping the temperature. So Nancy was, turning hot and cold water on so they can get the temperature right. And Jonathan and Hopper were getting the salt. And they had Joyce talking to Elle, calming her, saying she's going to be there. And if she feels scared, to let her know and she'll be there. And so all that's going on, right? And so that's happening. And then we get into the very next thing where they're testing the egg and they go through, so they put more salt in. And then they finally get the egg to go. And so Elle's ready to go in. She goes into the pool, and the first person she looks for is Barb. And of course, they have a walkie up to hear if she talked to anybody. And when she gets there, Barb is gone. It's stuff crawling through her. Demogorgon got her. She was gone. So Elsie screams out of fear from seeing it. Nancy starts to cry. And Joyce comes Elle back down. So she started looking for Will. And of course, Will's is in his favorite place, that little fort in the back. And she finds him, goes in and like, Will, your mom's coming for you. And he says, hurry. And everybody hears it on the walkie. And then all of a sudden, they're coming. Then all of a sudden, Will and the whole thing disappears. And she starts to cry. And then Joyce pulls her out and, hugs her and everything. And after that point, they go over and they're comforting her and having her relax as she's over there with the people and everything. And now the adults are, how can I put this? We're going to go to that lab and get in and go into the find Will, right? So they leave. And now Jonathan and Nancy like, we got to do something. That Demogorgon, that thing, that monster's still down there. We have to draw them out so they can find Will, right? And they still want to kill it because they mad about, Nancy's mad about Barb. And so they break back into the sheriff's office to go get all the stuff they bought to monster hunt. And basically when Hopper and Joyce break into the place, the government is ready for them. And Hopper's like, let me talk. But I think that was his plan. I didn't think he was going in to break in. I think he was going in to get caught so he can talk noise and get into the place with the appropriate things, right? But that's just me. And so And that's basically, oh, and the final end of the show is the Demogorgon finding Will. Are they gonna find Will in time or not? That's they gotta find Will. And of course, other things happen in the show. Like Steve finally left his old no good friends, which I couldn't stand anyway. And he's trying to make amends for the things he's done by cleaning up the slut and everything that was up. And oh, Mike and Elle looked like they was leaning in for a kiss at the beginning of the show when Dustin bust into the bathroom. So it's, of course, Elle and Mike. Did I say Elle and Will? Oh my God. So, of course, Elle and Mike like each other. They got that middle school love going on right now. And so all that went on in the show. And it's such a great show. I can't wait to watch the next episode, which is actually the season finale for season 1. I can't believe we're almost done with season 1 of this show. Again, I'm so glad that my wife told me to start watching it. It's one of my favorite shows right now. I'm so glad I'm reviewing it with you all. And if you want to talk more about this show, more specifics that I might not go over, just leave comments. Or if you want, we can talk more about this and any other nerdum thing, what's going on in these nerd streets on Twitter. And you can follow me on Twitter at Eclectic, at Blurred Eclectic. You can follow me on Instagram at _eclectic_blurred. And you can follow me or just follow this channel on Facebook at What the Soul. Again, I thank y'all for watching this video today. I hope y'all enjoying my reviews with Stranger Things. I know it took me a long time to get on the train, but I'm finally on the caboose. So until the season finale, to the season 1 finale of Stranger Things, I can't wait to talk to you next time. Until next time, I'm out.